I hope I'm ready.
You ready, man? The explosion keeps coming.
Those
Next week,
flames tell me I better be ready, right,
you
Richard?
better be ready, my man. Next week, Staffy World 2023, Charlotte, North Carolina. What's up,
I'm
Scott
fired
from
up.
Ceipal?
Absolutely. I'm totally fired up. We're going to be at booth 616. Be there or be square. This is event season for the staffing world and the recruitment
Mhm.
world, right? I mean, we're all hunkered down. We're all, hey, listen, family, you take second place right now through the rest of fall. No offense. We love you, but we have some work to get done, don't we?
Next week is going to be a blast. It's networking, education, fellowship. Dinners, drinks. All I can say is it's the granddaddy of them all. There's so many good ones, but ASA, this is the big ASA one of the year, man. And ASA, everybody's ever been to one of these events. Somebody at the end is going to be your mentor or mentee. Seriously, it's happening.
Absolutely. I can't wait to hang with you poolside while we're there.
Oh my, that's right. I forgot. It's going to be 80 degrees next week. So 80 degrees. It's going to be badass. So make sure you bring your trunks.
And you're going to be doing some of these broadcasts from pool, correct? A rooftop
pool. You got it. Poolside. We got some guests lined up here. I'm not going to mention names yet, but yeah, we're going to have some fun, because I'm going to be honest with you, Scott. We're in the convention center all day. We're in the office all day. I want some sunlight. I said, dude, if you got some free time, don't be sitting there on the lounge. Come out in the sun with me on the rooftop.
There is something to be said for the sunlight. Of course, we're kind of Northeast guys. So of course we appreciate a little extra summer, first of all. But second of all, you go to these shows and don't get me wrong, we're all going to have a blast there. As you said, people are going to come out with new relationships, new partnerships, mentors, mentees. As you said, I love that concept. But also, we are going to be in a convention center, which can be a little soul sucking. So heading up rooftop to hang with Richard poolside, that's pretty cool. And of course, before you do that, make sure you come by and visit Ceipal at booth 616. And
get that in there, 616.
On there too. We play Plinko. We have giveaways. Listen, come by. There's like a 2-minute survey at our booth, by the way. And I know we're going to get into why you should come to the booth, but here's just a small reason. We're going to be giving away a pair of AirPod Maxes. And just to enter, all you have to do is fill out a survey. And to give you an idea, Richard, like we were at SIA a couple of weeks ago, I think we had maybe 26 people filled out the survey. That's pretty good odds. 1 in 26 to get a nice $500 pair of headphones.
Yeah, I love that.
That's fun, right? But I know there are bigger reasons to come by too, and I can't wait to. Actually, I'm really looking forward to some of the keynotes too. ASA always has some of the best celebrities. Last year, I was so mad I missed my opportunity with Magic Johnson. This year, with Coach Mike, I'm not missing out this time, man. It's
Coach K.
I am going to see that one, and also. I can't remember the closing keynote. It is a very famous gymnast and
Dominique.
Yes.
I think she has 3 gold medals. Seriously, or whatever. This is amazing. And then in between that, you got the AI guru from IBM.
This is going to be a good one. I want pictures with all of them. Can we do selfies with them or what? How does it work? Are we allowed?
Actually, I think, if you want a picture, let me know, man. You got to slip me a couple 20s.
That's all right. I'm there. All right. I'll save a couple for you. I'll certainly have one for the puppy corner. There's always the puppies at ASA.
That's amazing. Yes.
Count on. And I'm so jealous. It's half the time it's sponsored by one of our competitors. That's okay. It goes to the puppies. I'm good with that. I will still donate my money because, oh man, just to pick up and cuddle those puppies is like a real treat at ASA every year.
It is. Okay, so now give us some bullet points. Why should I go to 616 Ceipal booth? Give us a couple bullet points of why.
I think that people generally know Ceipal as an ATS. That is our bread and butter. Particularly, we've been around since 2015, and we've made a lot of headway in the IT and engineering space. But we've branched out not only to other verticals, but we have other offerings now. So beyond the ATS, we have workforce management features and tools to complement that. We have CRM tools, particularly on the candidate engagement side, which are really key. We've always been an AI-powered total talent acquisition platform, as we like to call it, right? I am using a little bit of marketing speak, but you and I talked a little bit about this, Richard, earlier and off air, that for the last 4 years, I've been in the space of marketing an AI-powered tool, and people
Mm-hmm.
say, "Well, what does that mean?" I mean, AI, it's just kind of this abstract thing that's out there. But in the past year, thanks to ChatGPT, which you and I have been aware of for a while, now it's just blown up. Not only because ChatGPT's business model is, incredible. I mean, maybe they're the next Google, maybe not. We'll see, because Google also has its own AI.
Mm-hmm.
However, because of ChatGPT putting AI on the map, now you can talk to almost anyone about it. You can go to dinner and mention AI to your in-laws, and suddenly it's not, people don't glaze over. They get it now. Everybody sees the power of this. And so, whereas before we would talk about our AI-powered technology, now we have integrations with ChatGPT, and people suddenly perk up and they say, "Now I get it. So tell me what this can do."
I mean, it's the forefront. And ChatGPT's only been around for like 7, 8 months. And look can imagine another 2 years, what's going to happen. I mean, seriously, and it's not even in the staffing, it's the whole world, like you said. But for the staffing industry, I'm going to tell you this: job descriptions, that's like entry level, but that helps out so much. I mean, it puts the bullet points down. I mean, whatever you're trying to put a job description together, how long does that take? And it's going to condense it down to the points that the candidate wants to see. And I
I'm
love
glad
that.
you bring that up, because first of all, you're absolutely right. It hasn't been around that long. I mean, I remember talking to my family about AI at dinner, and that's where I got the people glaze over kind of idea of,
Mhm.
okay, yeah, it's advanced technology, we get it. Compared to last fall, when it was really released to the public, and suddenly I'm talking to my kids thinking I'm explaining something to them, and realizing that by the smiles on their faces that we're way ahead of you, Dad. This is going to get me straight A's. I mean, just it isn't right. If only we had this back in the day. I used to think if only we had Google back in the day. Imagine if we had ChatGPT. Well, the same thing
Oh,
applies to folks in the staffing industry, right, and recruitment industry. And so we've built just recently we released an integration with ChatGPT, where we have search string builders. We can help folks develop Boolean strings, or I shouldn't say
mhm.
we. When I say we, that is definitely the royal we, because it's ChatGPT doing all the work, and creating assessment questions and answers so that you can evaluate properly, or ChatGPT can evaluate properly. And we can generate job summaries, SMS template generators. I mean, all of this, all within. Imagine if you had all of this built into your applicant tracking system. And of course, I spoke to someone at SIA just a couple of weeks ago who said, "Yeah, but I really want it to go beyond my internal universe." And I said, "Well, that's already out there. ChatGPT exists, and I
Mhm.
encourage anyone to use it and experiment with it who hasn't." I know you and I are well, I won't say well versed, Richard. For myself, I'll say I play with it a lot. I know that you do the same, and I know we're figuring out ways that it can help our lives, as should folks in the staffing and recruitment industry. But looking externally is one thing, but being able to also take that tool internally and apply it to your own talent container, as our CEO Samir Panakalapati likes to call it, where we're aggregating all of this talent that you can build in your own internal database, and then say, what can we do with all of this? Let's look at where the recs are coming from. Let's look at what we need. Let's look at DEI, everything all in one spot, and apply AI or ChatGPT. But we've been AI powered since before ChatGPT, but this just kind of puts it all on steroids.
You summed that up right, man. I mean, AI in our industry is incredible, which, like you said, AI was around way back in the day with Facebook and even MySpace. I mean, it generated AI. I mean, but we didn't think of it that way. We're like, how did they get our number? Well, that was AI. But now it's, oh boy, it's one thing I'm going to say about the staffing industry right now, Scott, in the last 4 years, it has like quadrupled the speed of getting jobs and everything like that. I mean, seriously, the stuff we did back in like 2012, would take you months to do stuff, even like list of leads and generate, businesses and stuff like that on the sales side. Now, you type ChatGPT, top 10 companies in Morgantown, West Virginia, manufacturing, boom, they pop right up.
It's incredible. And just in this generative AI concept where even if you don't get it on the first time, you just keep going at it and build on that conversation. And it really isn't as complex as people think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Although there certainly are a lot of tips that, people need and can use. But even experimenting on your own, you can figure stuff out. Like we've been doing this a while, and we like to say, for talent curation and pipelining, we can get you 30% faster. We can increase your retention rates 74%. I mean, there are so many, stats we can throw at you. Cost savings 50%. Double placements. ChatGPT can imagine those were all of those stats that I'm throwing at you, which were Ceipal stats as of a few months ago. Now that we have this ChatGPT integration, I can't wait to see what those stats are next year because it's going to blow. Yes, exactly.
And you're integrated with how many companies now? I mean, seriously, over 100, right?
Yeah, I believe last I knew we were over 165. And, that includes, ChatGPT is one of our most recent. WhatsApp,
Mm-hmm.
for your viewers, we haven't announced yet, but it's coming soon. And there is already some integration there, but you're going to see even more. And we did something recently with LinkedIn as well, where we were already integrated with their Apply Connect. We were the first to do it. So people don't have to leave their social media platforms to apply for a job. And likewise, if you're a recruiter or a staffing professional, you don't have to leave your ATS to, pull these candidates in. That was a brand new thing, but recently we've also integrated with their LinkedIn's RSC, which is really crucial to a lot of people and a lot of folks who use some competitors. And I feel that these integrations are really a differentiator for us. Our partners are crucial and critical. We have a lot of capabilities that are homegrown. We're not a company that goes out and acquires new technology. Generally speaking, it is homegrown. It's been our AI. That's what made us different when we said we're an AI-powered applicant tracking system or an AI-powered talent acquisition platform. But other companies may have caught up through acquisition. We've always been homegrown, but we still value those partners. And with over 165 integrations, there are very few capabilities we can't catch up to. So even though, for example, we might not do payroll, in-house, but we're partnered with ADP and ADP run and, every significant integration that you might need, depending who your partners are.
So what is your sweet spot? Like, is there a certain sector or you take them all, Scott?
Well, of course, we take them all. I mean,
they all say that, right?
Yeah, we never want to say no to anyone. What I would say though about where our bread and butter is, traditionally, we are. I'll go back. We've been around since 2015. And when Samir, our CEO, founded this company, he sort of backwards engineered a little bit. I don't know how much of this is apocryphal and how much is legend and lore, but he would backwards engineer from RFPs, and he was looking to get into the educational space. And at first he realized, wow, we're coming runner up in all these areas. This is such a political space. And suddenly he found that maybe we're doing the right thing, but wrong vertical. We went after IT and engineering and blew up. And so that really became our bread and butter. We still do educational too. In fact, we had conversations last week with some folks who are staffing in the substitute teacher vertical. And we're going to be coming out in a matter of months before the year's up. I would say likely November. Before the year's up, we will have also a healthcare product on our webpage, and we'll be announcing that soon as well. I'm really excited about going into that vertical. We do play in that space, but there are certain areas where you just have to be so buttoned down because of requirements and compliance issues, et cetera, because of the serious nature of healthcare talent.
You guys are growing, man. I love it.
Yeah, we're really excited. I feel like this is really a great time to be here. We just rebranded, relaunched our VMS product as well. So not only are we there for staffing companies, but we want to be a player that people generally in the corporate space, for example, they tend to manage things internally. And you would think bigger companies would have bigger systems. Sometimes not the case. They might manage it through an Excel. I mean, they go back, they're sort of like not caught up yet because they think we don't need an ATS. We farm that out. But you do, because now the talent supply is short and it's such a large area for you to play in. And it comes down to spend management. So we have a VMS, we call it Ceipal ProcureWise, and that enables folks to leverage all of these features, whether you're an MSP or a corporate or a systems integrator or mid-enterprise. But even more than that, generally speaking, staffing firms don't think they need a VMS, or I shouldn't say all, but some, especially on the smaller end. But 15% at least of the revenue for smaller to mid-sized staffing firms comes from sub-suppliers. So a VMS can be a very important thing even in that space as well.
And correct me or not, you guys will take on a small staffing firm all the way up. I mean, you're there to grow with them. Am I right on this?
That is true, almost to a fault. In that, I say that because we have we're really revamping and building out. We have a great customer success department or bureau, however you want to refer to it. And famously, we're responsive. Or Ceipal, our team is responsive. So we're based in Rochester, New York, but also a lot of our product development. Samir is from India, and we have so much staff in Hyderabad, India, and so Samir is like back and forth between these areas, and those folks are so responsive to customers. Like, I really need a pull down that says this, to the point that I've heard other customers say, I'm seeing too many pull downs now. So, it's just a matter of having a configurable system that works for everyone. So we want it to work out of the box, but we have a customer success guru and department where they are really working hard to make sure that everyone's able to get the most out of the system. And I love that about the company. I think that's a differentiator, as well as price point. I've seen a lot of jaws drop when I go to these industry shows and when I tell them, how
I've heard on the street too.
Can be.
Yep, I heard about the price, and people go, "Wow!" So is it like live demos? Are you guys going to have stuff for that one-on-ones too at the booth?
Definitely, we'll have in addition to myself. We will have Amer Mustafa and Greg Iannuzzi, two of our great sales guys. And Amer, I mean, he is amazing. At the last trade show, we were at SIA recently, and someone came over and said, "I have a question for you." And she told, I won't give away any customer names, but she told Amer where she was from, and he said, "Yep, I know where you're from. I closed that deal." And he was very confident in saying so. And she said, "Yeah, well, I have a question for you." And I said, "Ooh, Mary, you might be in trouble." 5 minutes later, I can't tell you how happy they are with the implementation because of the fact that Amer worked so closely to make sure that they were able to configure it to their specific needs, which tailored to a very specific industry. And usually, if there are any issues, that's usually the question that folks will have. Well, how can we make this work for our vertical? And that's why we're going to be releasing a new healthcare product very soon, is because we realize that, each vertical industry needs its own. They have a very particular set of requirements. And because CPAL is built in this environment of let's backwards engineer it. What is it that's needed here? I mean, it was created out of an RFP. Samir came from he spent most of his life in staffing. He worked at Kodak. He was in HR. He owns staffing companies. He's kind of a serial entrepreneur. And he said, let's use the RFPs to create something really special here. And it developed partly from an internal need too. And that's kind of the approach from within the product team, which is really, I think, special in this industry.
There's the wrap right there, man. You summed it up, man, perfectly, man. Nice, short, and sweet. You got to come to the booth, 616.
I appreciate it, Richard. Look forward to seeing you. Come by and, hey, like I said, somebody's got to win these headphones.
Look at that.
My kids get all excited. They think they say, can I fill out a survey? I say, not unless you're with a staffing firm. So they need to get their resumes out there, I guess. And they're going to have to get through the ATS before they can fill out that survey. But hey, someone's going to walk away with those. But more importantly, you'll get a chance to see what CPAL's up to and some technology that can really help you. I mean, we G2 rankings just came out. We're number one in so many categories. I'm sure it'll be all over our monitors when we get there. And it's amazing what's happening and how much ChatGPT is changing the game and how much AI is changing the world.
Brother, I can hear it in your voice, man. You're excited for this company, man, and I can't wait to meet you there. But before we go, we give a shout out to my peeps here at Advanced Partner. There they are. They put the fun in funding. Advanced Partners. If you need funding or payroll, you know who to call. Good people too, Scott. Awesome, man.
Advanced Partners.
So, you got it, brother. Before we go, okay, so it's Charlotte, North Carolina. So we got NASCAR. I mean, there's going to be all kind of fun things going on. I hear there's, between me and you, there's going to be like a little track or something where you can actually drive some kind of slot car or something like that.
No one told me this. Slot cars, I'm in.
I think this is going to be it. But before we go, there is another, I call it Charlotte, North Carolina legend that we're going to talk about right now before we go. Okay. So being a little bit older, did you ever watch wrestling back in the day?
Sergeant Slaughter. How's that?
Okay, so
he was my favorite.
Everybody knows the Nature Boy,
That's
right?
How far back I go.
You know who the Nature Boy is, of course, right?
Of course.
Ric Flair from Charlotte. So for us to get pumped up for Staffing World, on 3, we're going to do the famous, you know what? Are you ready?
Woo!
You got it. 1, 2, 3. Woo!
Woo! Woo!
That's what Staffing World's all about, guys. Hey, Scott, thank you so much, man. I will see you next week. Safe travels, brother.
Can't wait to hang at the poolside with you, Richard.
You got it.